Hello everyone, you're watching Nacho Television from Ankara in Turkey. My name is Sauda Muganga. I'll bring to you our news headlines today. Turkey will continue for 5 days at the Mari Foundation headquarters, 6 countries in the consultation meeting of the country directors. Consultation meetings with country directors from all around the world. The 6th meeting of the foundation started at the foundation headquarters yesterday. Meeting of the new promotional film describing the vision and mission of the Turkish Mari Foundation was attended mainly Deputy Chairman of TİKA, Professor Dr. Bilor Çetin, Üsküdar Governor Murat Sefa Demiryürek, Foundation Education Director Levent Yazici, Foundation Board of Trustees with the participation of board members. Professor Dr. Bilor Akgün, President of the Foundation, said in his opening remarks, noting that our examples and guides with performances of our mission of culture diplomacy are from our pioneers, Anatolia Laureate tradition from our masters Ahmet Yesevi, Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi, Yunus Emre, Haji Bektaş Veli, Haji Bayram Erveli, and other heartfelt friends. Adding that being a Marif Ereni is a serious claim and must act with the understanding that we need to sue the human being. Unite based on our tradition, love, respect, and sacrifice should be our basic motto. In this sense, the Turkish Mari Foundation has been carrying the experience, the accumulation, belief, wisdom, and knowledge all over the world in Anatolia for millennium and the reputation of Turkey and the whole world.
Türkiye Marif Vakfı olarak önemli bir misyonla kuruldu ve hafızayı oluşturmak ve ortak aklının ışığında faaliyetlerimize yön vermek amacıyla her 3 ayda bir istişare toplantıları düzenlemekteyiz.
At least 4 people, including a baby, died when a dinghy carrying irregular migrants sank off Turkey's Aegean coast, security forces reported yesterday. The boat carrying Iranian and Afghan origin migrants who were attempting to cross the Greeks' Lesbos island illegally sank off the Ayvacık district of northwestern Çanakkale province with a cause of yet unknown. The Turkish Coast Guard, backed by helicopters, recovered bodies of 3 women and 1 baby while rescuing 11 others, said the sources who spoke on conditions of anonymity due to restrictions on talking to media. Search and rescue efforts headed after rescued migrants said that totally 15 people were on the boat. Sources added Turkey has been the main route for irregular migrants trying to cross into Europe, especially since 2011 when the Syrian civil war began. A house was struck by Gaza rocket in northern Tel Aviv, Israel on Monday. Israeli Robert Wolfel, owner of the house, and Israeli Defense Forces spokesman Libby Wensi speak to the media near the house. 7 Israelis were reportedly injured in rocket fire from the Gaza Strip, according to the Israeli authorities. In a statement, the army said a rocket struck a home in northern Tel Aviv at dawn. There was no Palestinian claim of responsibility for the fire.
בנפש הוא אני יודע, הוא עזר ורמנו והבאנו החוצה ונפצע בראש ונפצע ברגליים, אבל עוד פעם במזל, אנחנו מקווים שהכל יהיה בסדר עכשיו.
Israeli warplanes on Monday carried a fresh wave of airstrikes across the Gaza Strip, according to military sources. In a statement, Israeli army spokesman Avinci Adrena said the air raids had targeted Hamasi positions across the blockaded coastal enclave. According to the same statement, Israeli warplanes targeted a 3-story building in Gaza used by Hamas as security headquarters. Turkey's ruling Justice and Development AK Party spokesman Ömer Çelik spoke at an event in southern Adana province on Monday. He said Golan Heights is not an Israeli territory but a Syrian territory. Çelik reiterated Turkey's stand on occupied Golan Heights, saying the US decision favoring Israeli is wrong.
Yapacağını söylemişti. Maalesef ben bu salona girmeden evvel İsrail Başbakanı Netanyahu'yu yanına alarak
Heavy rains caused flooding in Kirkuk, Iraq yesterday, leaving so much destruction behind. Members of Turkey's Humanitarian Relief Foundation distributed humanitarian aid packages to the needy people in Afrin. Yesterday, the Turkish charity has provided assistance to 150,000 civilians in Afrin, northern western Syria since last March, an official reported. Zeki Tahiroğlu, Syrian coordinator of the Istanbul-based Humanitarian Relief Foundation, said the agency has been providing civilians with food, hygiene packs, clothing and medical equipment, as well as fuel allowance for winter. Turkish Cooperation and Development Agency and Turkish Red Crescent sent humanitarian vehicles and aid packages to flood-hit Mozambique on Sunday. Three Russian servicemen were killed in eastern Syria in a military attack last February, the Defense Ministry said on Tuesday. The Russian troops were returning back to their base after delivering humanitarian aid to a village in the city of Deir ez-Zor, where they caught in an ambush and later went missing. The group involved in the attack was found and destroyed. A statement from the ministry reported, adding that the bodies of Russian soldiers were delivered to their country. Russia launched a military operation in Syria in September 2015. In December 2017, the main military group withdrew. Currently, only a limited military contingent is deployed at the Hermin Air Base at the naval base in Tartus. Drivers of the iconic London black cabs claim their protest is going unheard amid looming Brexit uncertainties, despite a short extension granted by the European Union for an ordinary departure. More than 100 black cabs blocked the roads to Parliament Square on Monday as part of a protest against a decision to strip them of some privileges. Jimmy Thomas, a spokesman for the Independent Taxi Drivers Association, thinks they are being ignored as all eyes are on the Parliament because of Brexit. US President Donald Trump enjoys unprecedented approval ratings in Israel, much higher than in his home country. His ratings have soared especially after recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel in 2018 and formally recognizing Israel-occupied Golan Heights as Soviet-Israeli territory on Monday. Both unilateral actions were slammed by the international community and governing bodies, the UN and AU in particular. Israeli lobbyists in the US were cautious of a Trump presidency in the run-up to 2016 elections. Nevertheless, immediately after his elections as the 45th US President, Trump quickly became the long-awaited advocate of the Israel. Pushed both by the deep pro-Zionist ties of his son-in-law and advisor Jared Kushner and the political balancing efforts in the face of relentless Democratic pressure to impeach him on charges of collusion with Russia and destruction of justice in an ongoing legal case. U.S. Acting Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan approved up to $1 billion late Monday for building a portion of the wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. Shanahan authorized the commander of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to begin planning and executing up to $1 billion in support to the Department of Homeland Security and Customs and Border Patrol, the Pentagon said in a statement. The Pentagon said the funds will be used to build 57 miles, equivalent to 92 kilometers of 18-foot, 5.5 meters high pedestrian fencing, construction and improve roads and install lighting within the Yuma and El Paso sectors of the border. South Africans of different faiths on Monday condemned rising incidents of Islamophobia and racism globally in the wake of the recent attacks on mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand. Pauline Naido, Islamophobia, she said, should be addressed by all religious and racial groups because Muslims now live in fear wherever they go. People of the Hindu Maha Sabha community told an audience in Johannesburg. She said leaders in Western countries should educate their citizens about the cultures of racial and religious communities living in their midst to help stem the increasing hatred and attacks. Flash floods in southern Iran have killed at least 19 people and injured at least 100 more. Dramatic footage on social media showed torrents of muddy water surging through the city of Shiraz, where most of the deaths occurred. People were seen clinging to lamp posts and on top of cars, and hundreds of buildings were reported damaged. Iranese judicial said the government's handling of the disaster was being investigated. The floods struck during the Persian New Year holiday when many government offices were closed. The boss of Ethiopian Airlines said he still believes in Boeing in spite of a crash involving the US Farm 737 MAX plane, which killed 157 people. Teodan Gebrimania said despite the tragedy, Boeing and Ethiopian Airlines will continue to be linked well into the future. Separately, Mr. Dewald also said the aircraft's anti-stall system was triggered prior to the disaster. The future was found to be an issue in another crash of Boeing 737 MAX. In a statement outlining the close ties between the Ethiopians and the U.S. air industry, Mr. Dewald said, "Let me be clear, Ethiopian Airlines believes in Boeing. They have been a partner of ours for many years," he said. He also said that more than two-thirds of its flight is made up of planes manufactured by Boeing. Behind the front door of an unassuming tenanted house in South London lies the inspiring legacy of an uncommon man. The interiors are covered in intricate wooden carvings bearing Islamic, African and English influences and produced entirely by hand by the building's former owner, the writer and civil servant Hadambi Asalache. Born in Kenya, the son of a chief, Asalache studied architecture in Nairobi and art in Rome, Geneva and Vienna. He produced poetry and novels. He took a job at the Treasury in London in 1981, where he moved into a dilapidated house at 575 Wandsworth Road. Confronted with damp patch that resisted treatment, he opted to cover it instead, producing the first of his wooden carvings. 20 years later, he was still at work. The house has just become London's newest museum, managed by the conservation charity, the National Trustees. Two young sisters from Saudi Arabia who spent 6 months hiding in Hong Kong after fleeing their family have left for a third country after being given humanitarian visas, their lawyers reported. Rawani and Rin, not their real name, said they did not want to return home because they feared punishments. The women said they were stopped by Saudi officials at Hong Kong's airport en route for Australia in September. No details about where they are and how they have been released. The sisters said in a statement released by their lawyer, noting that we are thrilled that our story has a happy ending and that we have found our way to safety to restart our lives free of violence and oppression. They sent a message to Saudi authorities saying that we wish for our story to offer hope to others who face similar situations. We want to say loud and clear to the Saudi authorities and other regimes which treat women unequally, never underestimate the strength of a brave woman. The number of people known to have contracted Ebola in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo has exceeded 1,000, making the current outbreak the second largest ever recorded. A leading aid group, the International Rescue Community, said DRC Congo had reached a tragic milestone. More than 629 people have died since last August. New cases have increased sharply over the past week, with 58 new cases reported, the highest number in a week in 2019. A U.S. environmental campaign group has accused Chinese logging companies of devastating key forests in the Congo Basin and so damaging the climate, protected tree species and the habitat of endangered animals. The Environmental Investigation Agency says its report is the result of 4 years of research, much of it undercover. It accused the Chinese companies of paying huge bribes to win logging rights in Congo, Brazzaville and Gabon, of evading taxes and of violating export quotas. It's been almost 2 weeks since Cyclone Idal hit southern Africa, killing hundreds of people. In Zimbabwe, the district of Chimanimani is one of the worst affected areas. Homes have been swept away and bridges destroyed. Thank you so much for being with us. You can check our social medias of Natural Television or send us messages on our WhatsApp number written on your screen. My name is Sauda Muganga, Natural Television from Ankara in Turkey. See you soon.